Despite art being highly prevalent all throughout the world, some demographics of artists have been unjustifiably overlooked and ignored. One of these lost demographics of creators shockingly makes up half the human population: women. In a study conducted by Katie Hassell, in her book The Story of Art Without Men, she goes on to write, "When I conducted a YouGov survey in early 2022 to find out the British public's knowledge of women artists, results showed that 30% could name no more than 3. 83% of 18 to 24-year-olds could name not even 3. And more than half said they've never been taught about women artists at school." This video seeks to give a voice to ancient female creators who have been overlooked and ignored for the majority of human history. Women are equally artistically inclined as men and have been from ancient times to now. They deserve equal recognition for their contribution to the art world. This example of ancient art likely created by women is known as the Hall of Bulls and takes place in 16,000 to 14,000 BCE, the Paleolithic era. Found in France, the left wall features clear imagery of bulls galloping throughout the golden brown limestone canvas and stretches to a whopping 11 feet and 6 inches in width. There is scarcely any color throughout the painting, with mostly deep umber paint and occasionally patches of ochre. To the right of this artwork, a bull can be seen with more detail. It possesses dark umber outlines only colored by the limestone canvas. Its right leg, however, perhaps because it's being shaded by the body, is silhouetted in umber. Its eyes and mouth are also visible. Most of the other bulls can be seen silhouetted in dark umber and ochre with no detail in their faces. The most prominent theory behind this imagery was proposed by a priest by the name of Henri Brulol, suggesting the cave art to be a result of hunting magic. This theory states that ancient people would paint artworks representing the animals they hunted to cast spells, believing it would assist their efforts during the hunt. In a National Geographic article titled, "Were the First Artists Mostly Women?" by Virginia Hughes, she writes, "Archaeologists have found hundreds of hand stencils on cave walls across the world. Because many of these early paintings also showcase game animals, bison, reindeer, horses, woolly mammoths, many researchers have proposed that they were made by male hunters, perhaps to chronicle their kills or as some kind of hunting magic to improve success of an upcoming hunt. The new study suggests otherwise." In 2013, an analysis of ancient handprints performed by archaeologist Dean Snow found that within 8 Spanish and French caves, 3/4 of the handprints were female. If only men hunted and women gathered, how could this be? According to a recent research article from 2023, The Myth of Man the Hunter, across the Americas, women had a vital role in big game hunting. In a 9,000-year-old burial site located in Peru, a grave of an adult woman possessed stone projectile weapons and animal processing paraphernalia. The peer-reviewed article states, "By using a probability analysis of 27 sites which had evidence of big game hunting, Haas and others determined that females made up a non-trivial amount of big game hunters across the Americas. In fact, their analysis suggested that females represented up to 50% of big game hunters from the Americas prehistorically. Even if this was not the case for Spain, in the 2013 article, Snow goes on to argue that women still had a vital role in heaving meat back to camp. Meat was vital to their tribe's survival. If they believed they could further assist by manifesting spells within the caves, why wouldn't they? The myth of man the hunter and woman the gatherer is often used to establish gender roles, but this work of art reveals a different story about the true nature of men and women. Understanding a woman's role in Paleolithic art paints a further understanding of ancient cultures, but also humanity as a whole. Another significant Paleolithic artwork speculated to have likely been created by a woman is known today as the Venus of Willendorf. This small limestone statue is only 11 centimeters in length and dates back to 25,000 years ago. This artwork was produced with limestone and stone tools, an extremely difficult medium to work with that requires excellent skill and dedication. There's little known context about this statue, but experts speculate she was created as a fertility goddess. She was named after the Roman goddess of fertility because her design indicates emphasis on reproductive features. Her large breasts, hips, buttocks, and belly are emphasized. Her pubic region is also emphasized, with some ochre pigment still visible. These features were associated with high levels of fertility and childbirth. Features irrelevant to fertility were diminished. Her hands are barely visible and morph into her body, resting atop her breasts. The figure has no feet and cannot stand on its own, and her face is obscured by what appears to be a woven hat. There are many Paleolithic statues like the Venus of Willendorf, small, nude statues featuring women with emphasis on reproductive features that obscure the face and other features irrelevant to fertility. These figurines are called Venus figurines. It is speculated that these objects were meant to be small, portable charms women used during the Paleolithic era. All artworks needed to be portable due to the nomadic nature of early humans during this time period. It is likely the Venus of Willendorf was a charm used by women in hopes of getting pregnant. In the beginning, white men dominated anthropology, and their biases tainted our understanding of art in prehistoric cultures. Because of this, many artworks, including Venus figurines, were assumed to be created by men without further thought. Some interpretations of the Venus of Willendorf statue reflect this bias, sometimes going as far as bigotry. In an article titled, "What did the Venus of Willendorf originally represent?" a Dutch historian who has been studying these figurines for over a decade by the name of Tasca Sneedelaer states, "Some scholars went as far as to say that the portly Venus figurines represented non-European women, while the thin figurines represented European women. This interpretation is very racist." This bias demonstrates the importance of diversity in studies such as anthropology and art. When analyzing artwork, especially ancient art, it is important to keep an open mind and to be aware of one's own bias. Biases in anthropology unfortunately taint our understanding of ancient cultures and can affect our perception of art and artists today. Overall, it may be said that women are just as artistic as men. Since the beginning of time, men and women have created art. Art throughout history gives us a significant insight into the cultures who created them. To understand it, it is important to do our best to let go of personal bias and to allow ourselves to perceive it through multiple lenses to see the bigger picture. Art is about expressing oneself. It's about expressing or invoking certain emotions through the power of imagination. It's about creating something beautiful. The act of creating beautiful art is not unique to any race, gender, sexuality, or religion, but is uniquely human.